Where did my webcam go? Oh, here it is. Oh, God. Oh, there we go. Stuff. Oh. There we go. Oh. Is it plugged in? I don't even think it's plugged in, is it? Let me find out here. No, it's not. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. I'm hoping. There we go. I'm going to get my webcam hooked up here. Going to minimize this, although I do want to see live streaming. Okay, delete that. Yes. Add video capture 922. That's fine. There we go. What is the problem with the stream? I think I have to stop the stream for a second. Hold on. Yeah, I need to hold on a second. Okay. So, I'm not doing anything exciting. I'm going to do some Adobe work. And I kind of want to talk about some of the stuff coming on. So, wrong premiere. So I just shot. I have quite a few videos I have to do. A lot of takes. So right behind me is a mess. I just put together 2 computers. Got a rant about the one platform that I'm working on right now. So I'm actually working my wedding right now as well. So this, I'm gonna do the Cooler Master MB600L review. So this case, okay, I don't want to call it trash. That's the wrong way to put it. The problem with this particular case is it's not stock that great. You know, so I talk about my video. It's a $40 case. I got a good deal on it, but Ryzen 3 1300X, RX 570, both thing over 80 degrees on stress tested stock. Problem. Now, that being said, I didn't have the GPU fan curve set manually. I usually set it 20% until it hits 30 degrees. So idle, very low. And then it's a really slow incline. I think whatever you guys want to look at, it's incline, where it hits 50% 70 degrees. And then it ramps up pretty high once it starts at like 80 and 90, right? That's my preferred fan curve. I believe that's actually how I have mine set up here. We'll actually double check, but I'm pretty sure that's how it is. Yeah, that's actually exactly how it is. So this is my traditional fan curve right here. I find it the most quiet. Most systems scale really well with this, and it keeps, you know, a good trade-off performance versus sound, right? So shame on me for that, but being on a lower fan curve, the 1300X should have not been hitting that kind of speeds. Okay, that's a problem. And that in itself tells me there was an issue. So what I did was I replaced one of their front fans with a Silent Wings 140 millimeter fan. I've had it sitting around. It's like a $20 fan, and I put in a $40 case. So now it's a $60 case. Okay, I upgraded. That helped, but the CPU still ran a little warm. I've noticed it was hitting 1.4 volts. Now that's probably a little high for that chip. The problem is that when I sell these computers, I generally don't tweak anything outside of motherboard settings that do auto adjustments. It's more so because this isn't my day job. I don't have time to deal with instability problems and all that stuff. So I need to be as stable as possible. And honestly, I don't have time to test it a lot of times. So I want it auto. Auto 1.4 volts, not a fan, but I'm rather tweak that. I took a Ryzen 7 stock cooler, not the RGB, but the regular one. Fixed that problem. Now, assuming you buy that for $15, now you're invested $75 in the case. $75 can buy you a P300, a P350, P400S from Fantex, an NZXT H500. There's a lot of good cases out there for that price. Have more fans, better airflow. So that's my problem with the case. I talk about it in the videos here. I gotta open this up.
So I want to show you guys this. So when I go to refunds and returns,
nope,
3 or 1.
That
so it tells me it's new.
Regarding something else.
Motherboard. Intel's not known, and I'm not hating on Intel.
Okay, so I gotta delete this one because I know that's going to be an ending. This is the right ending.
So I'm going to say I'm not going to recommend it. As always, this is Steve from PC Budget Solutions. I'll see you later on down the road.
I do need a haircut. Okay, so let me look at this.
Or budget or...
Okay, that is board. And then I think this was...
I would say entry level to mid-entry level.
Okay, so definitely not that. I mean, I'm not moving that video over.
Okay, so a little bit of mess of cables here.
But here's actually the interesting thing that really sucks about this case. Is outside of cooling, absolutely fantastic case. 100%. Loved it. Loved building in it. Liked the look. The only thing I would give marks off was the side panel was that cheap plastic. But it is what it is. So it kind of sucks. I really wish it was... holy crap, I got some sweat going on.
Hey everyone, welcome back.
So... Oh, it's still loading in. Hold on.
L.
What the heck am I doing here?
Our case goes on sale. So let's take a look at the Master Box MB600L.
Okay. So I'll mark that out there. For anybody that doesn't video, I don't do anything really extravagant. Let me see what I do
first
here.
things first, this is...
I did not like how I did this, to be honest, but I'm not redoing
something
it again.
I like a lot on a case like this. Let's
down.
take a look at the back of it, though, and see what I think.
Oh, that's fine. When I cut in and out, that'll be all she wrote there. Usually I try to trim it down.
Okay, so a little bit of...
Okay.
Wrap this up.
Let me actually see what...
but let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Okay. Good. And then I will do my outro. So some of these are pretty quick. I'm not a professional editor. I'm not a professional YouTuber.
So, conclusion.
I missed the start there.
So, conclusion.
And then I'll look for when I do the finger point, as always.
This is Steve from PC Budget Solutions. I'll see you later on down the road.
Okay. So, pretty straightforward. That's... really? How is there insufficient? Hold on a second.
Hey everyone, welcome back.
Adobe's been doing this, and it really gets on my nerves. Effects, video transitions, dissolve, cross dissolve. Why does it not want to? It does not want to put these. See.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel.
Let me see what this does on the back end here.
Always, this is Steve from PC Budget Solutions. I'll see you later on down the road.
That's fine. So let me see if anybody said anything. Nope, just one you watching. I've not been happy with Adobe.
So, first things first, this is...
2019, it just seems like I'm getting a lot of freezing.
Like a lot on a case like this. Let's take a look at the back of it, though, and see what I think. Okay, so a little bit of mess of cables
normal
here.
Transition, so I mean, it's fine.
And I might speak to it later in another video, but let's go ahead and wrap this up. So, conclusion time. Master Box.
Why is this not generating audio?
You have down here.
So what I'm going to have to do with these two, God. I really don't know what's going on with Adobe 18. Let's go 5 up. 5, there we go. Why is this? My God. I have no idea what is going on here. Editing. No. I really want to move back to 18. This is bothering me. I have no idea what is going. So I'm going to save this and reboot the program. I shouldn't be using that much resources. Yeah, I mean, Adobe CC9 or 19. So I have 32 gigs RAM and I have 16 processing threads. I should be able to stream and work on Adobe at the same time. Why does this not have?
A couple things real quick. I got the master box.
It has no audio down here. I need to get a Dedicam mic again.
In the front.
Alright, I'm just going to have to send it as is. Let's go high quality. Nah, I mean, I'm not doing these videos in 4K. That was only one video. I need... Like, right now, it should not be freezing. I mean, I'm not using that much resources. I mean, what's OBS using? Not much. Yep, the whole program locked up. Adobe 18 or 19 has been so unstable. I've never had these problems before. I'm probably going to dump the program, reinstall it, to be honest. I have so many videos to do still. I'm doing these out of order too. I have other videos which I suppose I'll probably just do them later. I would like to get enough to cover while I'm gone on my honeymoon, so. No, Control M, sorry.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm picky, but here, let me move it.
I'm going to message my buddy Dave, see if he knows anything about this. He's what I built the i9 for. There. I'm asking about Adobe 2019 to see if he's having similar issues. See, this is, so you guys remember there was no audio track before.
Missing something. I think this.
Like, so it's generating these so slowly, like it should not be. I've never had, like I've had these clips load in like clockwork, and it's just loading. I mean, the only thing I can think of that makes sense is the files are on an SD card. That would be the only thing that makes sense. So that's actually fine. Now I'm gonna actually up this. So So some of the things I do in my videos, for example, and you know what, it actually might be specifically the SD card now I think about it, but I'll ask them, is you can kind of see the highs and lows of the file here. So you can see this is low, this is a little low. So I'm going to up this probably by about 3. And I kind of eye it up. That's like just part of what you do. I mean, higher end YouTubers will have like a really, really specific, oh, why is it doing this again? Come on. I just want to increase audio. That's it. Audio gain. 5. Alright, I'll let it calculate its thing. But yeah, so life is doing YouTube. Oh, so some interesting things on the front here. Here, I'll zoom in so you guys can see my face a little more, since what I'm going to be saying is going to be probably far more interesting. So, 2019 PC Budget Solutions is going to be official. And thanks to my wife, she's helped out tremendously. And man, why is this not want to do it? So I'm going to be doing a lot of YouTube. I'm going to be doing a lot of builds, a lot of product reviews. I'm going to try to keep up on as much as I can. This is going to be revenue for me. It's going to be 3 parts to what I do. I'm going to be building and selling locally. My target audience is not people that normally would build a computer, usually parents that want a gaming computer for their kids. I sell a lot to that. You know, the reality of it is for it to be worth my time, I need a 10 to 15% margin. So if I'm building a $500 or $600 computer, I need to make, you know, around $100. If I'm building a $1,000 computer, maybe $150. So, you know, there we go. Now it's doing it. So anybody out there says, well, can you build me a computer? Sure. If you're local, I will. But note that, you know, the amount of time I spend, you know, I'm going to need to make some money doing it. So I'm building some locally. I do repair. I only charge $40 an hour. It's not absurd, but I'm going to be collecting sales tax and actually, you know, paying, you know, small business tax to pay myself, and my YouTube revenue will be kicking in probably next year. Amazon revenue kicks in. I'll be doing some consulting, so it's gonna be a lot of side stuff. I'll still be working on Hornet Security. That's my 9 to 5 job plus more, and then basically this job will essentially be 5 to 11. I'm going to be employing some people in the industry that work around here to help me out. That are actually generously going to really help me out with it. So I'm pretty excited about that. Short-term goal is just to kind of increase my YouTube presence, get money that way, get money from, you know, I'll be doing a lot more with my website, getting ad revenue, getting Amazon affiliate, getting some revenue from selling products, and getting revenue from doing my services and everything like that. So it's going to be a lot of little bit. There's not a lot of money being made in this industry, I'll be honest. Oh God, please tell me I saved this. Please, oh God. Oh, absolutely killing me. I mean, look at my resources. Oh my God. No, I didn't save it. Actually, I think I did. I think I might have to reload Windows. Let me make this a little bit smaller so you guys can see. Sorry about that. How many times Adobe can crash on me in one day? But yeah, so I'm going to be doing that. So I'm pretty excited to do it. You know, luckily I have, it didn't save. Could have sworn I hit save. I have an accounting background, which helps tremendously because doing the books and stuff like that. But anyway, so long-term goal is to slowly build this up to something that's netting in the 5 figures, right? So 10,000 plus. And then bring it to a level where I can move out of the office and move into a storefront. And I would also have to make enough revenue to hire somebody to run that. I have some ideas. I've talked to some people that wouldn't mind to have a 9 to 5 gig. I mean, they know I wouldn't pay them substantial money, but they would be really happy with working with me. So, and I trust them, so that definitely could be an option. And eventually, I want to build it up to be relatively self-sustaining, but to make me some good money, but also do good in the industry and, you know, in the... oh, wait, that's already adjusted by 5. Never mind. Maybe? Just said 5 and then it disappeared. I'm confused. You know, and the thing is that you don't want to be greedy doing this, right? But at the same time, you know, you can't allocate all your time for nothing. Okay, so, you know, I spend a lot of my own money and a lot of my own time, you know, doing YouTube, right? I build a lot of computers. I built several hundred. I believe I'm approaching 700 right now. I think I was somewhere in the ballpark of like 674 before today, and now I have 675 and 676. 677 is actually down there. So, you know, the amount of effort I spend helping people and building and trying to get quality units to people, and then the amount of time I support and everything. You know, you have to value your time, right? And, you know, if you spend all your time and nobody values it, then people abuse it. It's actually funny. My customers, like people I don't know, seem to kind of treat me not as good as the people I do know. It's like the people I do know are the ones that pay me. Whereas some new customers that throw a fit over, you know, if they need a minor upgrade to their computer, it's $20. Like, well, you can't just do it for free. Well, I'm not charging you, but you got to pay for the part. Oh, why can't you just throw it in? Because that part cost me $20, and I'm asking for or $30. I think it was. I'm asking for $30 because that's what it cost me. You know, sure, I put it. It takes me 10 minutes to put in. I'm not going to charge you $10 for the partial hour, but at least, you know, caught me for what I pay for. And, you know, some people are like, no, I'm not doing that. It's like, well, then you're not really the person I'm really interested in working with. So, okay, so whenever I go to here, let's see, good. I didn't make a video. This is the HP 600L. Okay, that's fine. I can just call it that. And let's go 1080p. Not Facebook. High quality. Export. So let's talk about Ryzen 7 nanometer. You guys know I love Ryzen. One of the best things we've seen in a long time in the industry. And I'm not signed to LTT forums. There's, I don't feel like it. Where are we at? No, I don't want to. We will get back to that. Here. Is this it? Yeah. So here's the thing. This looks great, but, and I've actually seen some. Oh, here's actually another link. It's a slide. Oh yeah. So this is interesting information. So what this is saying is Ryzen 1000, 2000 were built on Samsung's 14 nanometer low power process. This is what caused the 4 gigahertz hard cap essentially. This cap on the clock speed made Zen 1 and Zen Plus 15 to 25% slower than Core. Okay. Zen 2 is being built on a 7 nanometer platform. So it's at high performance. It will have a 13% boost in clocks compared to low power. It is rumored that low power clocks around 4.6. Obviously, this is great for server chips for users who care about efficiency. Side note, Epic 2 can do 4.6. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So basically, this goes on to explain the limitations of the previous processing node by Samsung. That it's going to be able to utilize the CCX cores better, support faster memory, support faster speeds, and have a really, it says 15% IPC bump. Now here's the thing with this. So let's assume none of this is true. That the IPC is only like 3 or 4%, let's say 5%, and none of this other stuff is relevant. I take exception to. The ones that don't make sense. So this chip is possible, 100% think it is. This one's probably possible too. These I don't think are super far-fetched to a degree. The only two CPUs that sound remotely possible are honestly these two. Okay, I'll lump it in. I'll say these three. Assuming 7 nanometer gives you much better yields, and everybody's saying it is, and I can only believe what's coming out, right? I don't think the rest of this product line is possible. Because if you take this product line right now, what this is saying, price aside, price is important, but put that aside. If you get a 5% IPC bump with these clock speeds already, we're now at or above Intel's high end. Okay? Intel, clock for clock, is approximately 3 to 5% better in single thread performance. If you take a 9900K and clock it at 4 gigahertz and a Ryzen 7 2700X at 4 gigahertz, you can expect in Cinebench single threaded to get anywhere from, we'll say 7 to 10 points higher. Okay, that says it's 5%. Okay, so if they close that gap, match the speed, 5.1 boost, right? This chip right here would essentially compete, and well, we're going to say compete. It won't beat the 9900K because chances are if it's a 4.8 boost, it's probably single core. All core boost is like 4.5, so it's definitely not going to beat. But it's going to be essentially 5% behind across the board, okay, due to clock speeds, for less than half the price. And I don't think that's reasonable. Now, let's assume this part's right. Then Intel is in serious trouble because for $30 less, you're going to have a chip that not only is going to match your best chip in per core performance, it is twice as raw powerful. 16 cores, 32 threads. Not even including the fact that they're talking about a 15% IPC buff. Well, this is saying with clock speed and the 15% you get 30%, but 15% IPC buff. They are going to turn Intel into bulldozer. And here's the problem with that. Intel is struggling with 10 nanometer. And the reality of it is that they're not going to have good yields for a minimum 2 years. And could be longer. They can't stretch 14 nanometer to get really any more powerful. They've tapped that. They don't have the supply. They don't. So even if they wanted to spin out a new chip, like the 10,000 series or 1,000 series, whatever it would be, they don't have enough chips. They're outsourcing the TSMC, and they're struggling. And this is good. I'm happy because I would love to see AMD top dog. Now, let's talk about prices. These prices are ludicrous. Right hand off the god. Straight up. If there's a minimum of 5% IPC buff, and these prices are right, I will take $4,000 to Micro Center and buy all the relevant chips, buy couple boards, and all the relevant Intel chips. I should have the money by then. I will. I'll buy probably, so the chips I would definitely buy. Let's talk about the chips I would buy. This chip is interesting to me. This not so much, because it's already, I'm doing i3 versus Ryzen 3 right now, by the way, just so you guys know. This chip is interesting to me as well. I'm curious how good this is. So I'd buy this one. I would buy that one. I would buy this one. And I'd probably buy this one. So I'd buy these two. Just would buy that one. That one's the only one interesting. And I would buy this one. So that's 500, 830, 1030. That would be 1060, 1260, and then this is another 230, so 1290, 1394. So 1490 is what it costs to buy these chips. I'd have to probably buy a bunch of boards because Micro Center is kind of like that, unfortunately. But I don't have to pay sales tax, which is a huge plus. So that would cover that. Then I would get like an i5, an i9, an i3, which actually I have an i3 right now, but and a couple like a Z. B series board, so I could probably do it for $3,000. I can't see it. I really can't see this being possible. I can see some of these being like. Here's the problem: you're essentially talking about this is a Ryzen 5 2600 right here, $400 at a 50-watt TDP. This is a Ryzen 5 2600X. 65-watt version. So 30 watts lower, which is possible with the better yield. $400 less. That's essentially what they're doing. And, okay, with 7nm yields, I could see them doing this at the wattage. But the price at this level, that's staggering. This chip right here, okay, would be able to be relevant when talking about 9600K. Now, under the assumption that this is essentially the same chip on a 7nm, and this is as far yield as you can get, the 9600K is going to be a better chip for gaming. It's just going to be it's not a better buy, it's just better. But it's half the price. But this is where this gets interesting. Absolutely no reason to buy an Intel i5 9600K. None whatsoever. For essentially $30 to $40 less. Oh, let me see if anybody's actually leaving comments. Okay. Gotcha. Thanks for telling me, Crackling. Sorry. I don't have a second monitor. That chip right there, the 3600X, in my opinion, is the chip to buy. It is essentially a 2700X, but 500 megahertz faster. It stands right now that, assuming the IPC bump is only 5%, which is all I'm really thinking it's going to be. It's going to match Intel. That would actually outrun a 9700K. That will run with a 9900K. It will outrun a 9600K for $230. Now, this chip, I actually find the most interesting chip in the lineup. Believe it or not, I'm actually excited about this chip. I love the APU, and I know Craftsman just said it won't come out for a little bit. I love the APU. It's incredibly interesting. You know, I have an APU. I've messed with it. They're not that powerful graphical wise, but maybe with 15 compute units, the Navi 7nm architecture, if this chip can put out GTX 1050 graphics, I would crown it the chip of the year. Better yet, if this can put out GTX 1050 Ti or above, somewhere between RX 560 and 570 graphics, this is the chip of the year. 100%. These two chips, these two APUs, and I know Crafting said they're not going to be out for a little bit. I can't fathom, like if these chips, these two right here, if they give us this performance, so if they up the IPCs to match Intel, if these are not the height of their speeds, if these can bump another 10% with overclocking, okay, and granted these I believe are DDR4 still, unfortunately, which is probably going to be the issue. is I don't think we can get really good graphical performance, but if this could match a 1050 Ti, this, in my opinion, is the chip of the year. Because let's break it down. Okay, so I have an Excel spreadsheet. I'm working on something, but let's break it down. So, okay, the CPU is $200. A board is going to be about $70. RAM right now is cheap. You can get 16 gig for $110. A decent power supply is going to run you $50. Basic case will run you $50. 500 gig SSD, we'll say not on sale, $70. That's it. So $550 is what that would cost. If that chip graphics can yield you 1050 Ti performance, if you can use up to 4 gigs of DDR4 memory, or however it's going to be configured, then that is the chip of the year. Because you're getting a lot of performance. You're getting 8 core, 16 thread with a 4 gigahertz boost. You're getting strong graphical power. $550, there's your Fortnite gaming computer. You can stream. You can play any game on the market. And you can stream. And you can run Adobe. And it supports FreeSync, right? So that's really interesting. So let me read what Cracklin's saying here. Yeah, so and Leah, yeah, I hear you. Again, this is all grain of salt. I would love for just this to be true, but I'm not entirely sure these can exist. Now, actually, I'm wrong. Because let's talk for a sec. Let's talk Epic and Threadripper. So right now, when you look at a, what is it, 2995X? Wait, Threadripper 2990. Okay, so let's look at this chip. So this is an impressive chip if I remember correctly. It is... this isn't giving me the information I need. Anyway, there we go. So this as a whole is an impressive chip. Okay, 32 cores, 64 threads, 4.0 boost the 4.2, or 3.0 boost to 4.2. So let's look at what else is available. So Threadripper 295X. So I think this chip is interesting. Yeah. Okay. So let's take this chip. This chip it's a big chip, right? So they're going to have to obviously shrink things down. A 7nm process can help. This chip is essentially this, but essentially 10% better. Fair to say. So boost to 4.4, and its base is 3.5. So 400 megahertz faster, 300 megahertz faster. So essentially, it's pretty close to 10 to 15% better. The wattage is lower, which is very possible if they're taking a Threadripper design. You know, it's because I think it's going to have 4 CCX cores instead of 2 in this processor. It's supposed to fit AM4. So when they're shrinking the die down, if they're essentially taking a Threadripper design, put on a 7nm process, which should shrink the overall die size and everything, and then they also should get better yields with TDP and clock speeds, I could see this existing. I really do, based off of what's currently out there. That makes sense to me. So that can be possible. This is a little bit far-fetched because now we're talking about a 20% performance increase. It's not completely out there. You know, so if they already have the design, so I'm speculating. I don't know microarchitecture that well. But if they're taking a Threadripper design, you know, the 4 CCXs, and but the thing is, they can go up to 8 CCXs per core instead of, I think they're doing up to 4 right now. So, well, that helps, right? So if it's still, if they move from 4 to 8, then they only need 2. And if they're shrinking it down from this design, I can see it being possible. This one just seems tough. This really does. That speed, that many cores, running at that speed all the time, that's going to be the single boost, and then you should expect between like a 4.7 and a 4.9 all-core boost. This one also is a little bit tough, this speed. I can get where they're coming from this. I can understand this. This essentially already exists. This is a 2700X, except the base clock is 100 megahertz slower and the boost clock is 100 megahertz faster. And these two already exist, the Ryzen 5s, 2600 and 2600X. So, it's possible, but man, at those prices. And then the assumption that the IPC increases 15%, that's a pretty big number. The 30% including the clock speed. I don't know. Correct. Yeah. I expect, so two things I expect 100% is all these TDPs are going to be passed 100%. I think these TDPs are listed at base clock with single core boost clock. I think all core clock is going to exceed these, but honestly, I'm cool with that. I don't care. You know, as long as the motherboards continue to do really well with XFR2 and Intel's Precision Boost or whatever it is, it works really well. I've messed with it. I'm okay with it exceeding spec. As long as AMD is transparent about it, saying, hey, these boards are designed to increase power draw based off of the cooling available to produce higher speed automatically. Great. Bring it on. Also make a feature to make it disabled to where it only runs at the speed with a single core boost, and just have it change on the motherboard that the XFR 2.0, right? I think that would probably be a good idea to go that route and just be transparent about it. If you're open and honest about what you're doing and what you're looking to achieve, then I'm cool with that. I'm always cool if I don't have to put a lot of effort into it. If I can just flip a switch in a BIOS and bam, it's going to boost up really consistent, then I'm okay with that. Another one I want to talk about. So let's go back here. RX 3000. These. I don't know how I feel about this. Good, but a little bit indifferent. So Navi. The RX 3080. First of all, AMD, stop stealing Intel stuff. I get it. You know, you guys are putting out great products, very competitive at most levels, not all, but most. And you want to copy essentially the people that are doing really well, to try to get some market share back because your products are good, and that's one way to do it. But come on, guys, seriously. But anyway, I digress. RX 3080. They are saying that this is a GTX 1080 RTX 2070 class card for $250. That's a pretty big statement. I honestly would say if it was a GTX 2060 or 1070 class card, or slightly better, like a 1070 Ti. But that's a big claim, especially at that price and 150 watts. Now, recently, AMD, with the exception of their Vega lineup, has done pretty well with power. You know, I mean, my Vega, it pulls 250 watts. I don't overclock. I leave it as is. But, man, like, I'm okay if AMD says, you know what? We're not really interested with competing with the best cards out there. We're comfortable targeting the masses, which is the mid-range market, $300 or less, and we are going to trash the competition there. That's kind of what their focus has been. Now, they haven't trashed NVIDIA in the mid-range market. And what I mean by that is their RX 580 versus GTX 1060. The RX 580, it's pretty much on the same level. It wins some and loses some. But it has one in price whenever coin mining is not relevant, right? And, you know, the RX 570, I have one in that system right there. It's $140. Beats a 1050 Ti, which is more expensive. But those are the only two cards that are relevant. The RX 560, no offense, kind of trash. But where did my RX 560 go? Oh yeah, that's right. I put it in the system because the 1050 Ti died. He was a video editor, so it's not really a big deal. But they only do well at the 7, 8, and 7 series. Now, this is saying that they're going to have a 4 gig. Now, these are GDDR6, so it's possible, right? With GDDR6 memory and the smaller nanometer, a smaller processing node, it's definitely possible. I just think that they're a little bit hopeful. I don't really think it's going to beat a 1080. If they want to say it's in the same class, sure. But man, both of those cards, like 1080s, like in the low 4s, RTX 2070s upper 4s, and you're saying 250, it's a big undercut. If you can do it, great. That's going to get really good competition going. And I love FreeSync. But that last one, that last one's a little tough. You're basically saying, we're going to make a card that has less memory, 4 gig versus 6, but it's GDDR6, require no external power. Oh, by the way, we're going to beat your GTX 1060. That one is a little bit on the tough side. If they can really deliver 1060 class performance, like basically RX 580 class performance for $130, no power connector, I'm loving it. Because perfect. Got the perfect example. So, back to Excel. So you buy that card for $130. So we don't have GPU in here yet. Insert. GPU. $130. CPU. $100. Now, well, I'm not going to include Windows. You guys can get Windows wherever you want. $500, $600, less than $600. You have a gaming PC. We're going to do 130. Sounds a lot better. $600. We're going to get we're going to get cheaper RAM because we found on sale. So, $600. Yeah, I know. I jumped the gun a little bit. $600 gives you a 6-core processor. A legit 6-core, not the, FX stuff. Oh, let me go back. Ryzen 3000 leaks. Okay. So you're getting basically a 2700 or 2600X. You're getting 16 gigs of RAM. Getting a decent board that can support it. Stock cooling. Hopefully stock coolers are good. Decent power supply. Some 80 plus bronze, something on the tier 4 list, tier 3 list. Decent case. A 500 gig SSD and a GPU that can game 1080p high refresh rate. $600. Throw in a 1080p 144 hertz monitor. $800. Throw in all your peripherals. $900. $900 out the door. You go from nothing to playing Fortnite and PUBG and everything, streaming 144 frames per second, depending on what you're doing. That's cool, and I'm really glad that if this stuff is 70% true, it's going to make my next year very fun. I should be able to pump out a lot of really nice systems. Because, I'm going to charge, for this system, I'm going to charge $750. That's the reality of it. I'm going to, yeah, that's more than 15%, but I would probably charge somewhere, because with tax, right? So that's the other problem. That includes sales tax. So sales tax out the door is $750. So realistically, I'm making a 15% margin, roughly, like 17. And I'll warranty it for a year. But all things considered, when you look at how much power you're getting, it's pretty good. And if somebody comes to me and says, well, I'm going to love it because people are saying, I can build it cheaper. Then, yes, I want you to do it. Here, I think you should buy this. I don't build for enthusiasts. There's no point because you can do it just as good as I can. But anyway. So, well, I actually have a couple people watching. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I can't really imagine that these leaks are true. I mean, AMD's not the one saying it, though. It's just leaks. Ugh. Back to video editing. I have... Oh, nope, not what I wanted. Let's close project. New... Oh, this is interesting. So this is the BioStar B360 GT5S unboxing and review. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my removable. It was cut those videos. And then I'm also going to do that for these ones. So, in case you guys are wondering what I'm working on right now, I got a Ryzen 3 35 or 1300X from somebody on Reddit for, yeah, I kind of figured, CP bottleneck still. Just transfer. You know what? I was actually thinking about that not too long ago. Possibly. See, here's the thing. Like ITX, the ITX builds I would mess with though aren't really interesting. Like the H200i isn't really ITX, right? It is, but is it really? You know, I think when you talk about ITX, like really small, like the double rad water cooling build Jay did. For example, interestingly enough, improper pressure made everything overheat. That was kind of interesting. But I think I would like to. That's something on my list for 2019. So for those of you that didn't catch a stream early on, next year I will be incorporating PC Budget Solutions. I'll be doing obviously YouTube. I'll be doing you know, building a lot more computers, selling. Probably a little bit of advertising to try to build revenue, and then I'll also be you know, getting YouTube revenue hopefully by that point. Amazon revenue I get a little bit of every now and then, like anywhere from $50 to $100 a month. I'll be doing computer repair, and I'm just gonna be pumping out a lot, so it's gonna be a lot going through. I'm hoping I hope I don't get burned out, but I'm gonna be really busy doing everything, and some trips to Micro Center. But yeah, that is on the agenda. Talked to my wife, we made some things happen. Talked to a couple lawyers, and we are making it happen. So pretty excited about that. For anybody that didn't catch that part of the stream. So, but yeah, I would like to. I kind of feel like ITX though isn't super popular anymore. I mean, you know, not like what it used to be. I feel like it was really niche and then it went away. Case in point, I have a Fractal Design Meshify. It's a really compact full ATX tower. I like it though. It works. I won't stick with it for a super long time. I had to put like 3 fans in the front, and now heat's fine. CPU hits like in the upper 70s. GPU hits in the lower 70s. It's fine. I don't know. No real issue. But I do like the system, but the system's definitely not going to make it 6 months. You know, if AMD's releasing these chips like they say they are, no, it's not. This thing won't be up for sale, and I'll be building something else, 100%. Good news is I get to write it off, though, so that's a plus. It just got back to me. Now, remember, though, a write-off or an expense does not mean it's free. Technically, so if I use the system for work, which is what the primary purpose of it's going to be, if it's $2,000, it reduces my taxable income by $2,000. So let's say, I'll give you an example of what the tax saving is. Let's say my net income before I bought it was $1,000. Now it's negative $1,000. Okay. I generally would have to pay roughly 30% from individual standpoint to it's like 12%, and then the self-employed tax 70%, so it's like 29%. So I go from essentially from paying $300 of sales tax or of tax to saving $300. So in this case, because of how it works, I would essentially have a tax savings of $600. That's a decent amount. So in the grand scheme of things, $2,000 minus $600, I only pay $1,400. That's big. That's essentially how write-offs work. It's not actually writing something off, and in this case, I may actually have to depreciate the asset. So I don't even get that full $600 the first year. I'll have to double check with a lawyer. I'm pretty sure since it's not a capital expenditure, I should be good, but it's not free. In the best case scenario, I save 30%, which is big. Don't get me wrong. I actually have to pay tax on that. So if it's actually used internally and not for sale, and then so yeah, I mean I'd still save over $600. So, but yeah, just because it's a deduction, you know, an expense doesn't actually. What the heck? What is this yelling at me for? Skip. There we go. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, this board, this is interesting. So this is so this is what the box. This is that's the board. Let me see if I can get a good. Okay, so this is actually pretty cool. This board was $67. Actually on sale for $60 right now. I double checked in this video. I did not buy an open box. It's just brand new. It is. This is a B360 board. It's Intel. I have a i3-8100 on there. So it has 4 RAM slots, which is what I was looking for. It has an 8-pin, which means like you can safely put an 8700 and not have to worry about, you know, the power delivery. It has some VRM cooling. Doesn't have any up here, but it has some over here. You have 6 SATA. You have an M.2 cooler. I mean, I guess it helps. Regular M.2, shielded PCI Express. I think it was a total of, so 1, 2, it had 2 fans down here, so a total of 4 fans. You got some RGB action here. These are blue LEDs over here. 7.1 surround, USB Type-C. If it works, I'm going to say if it works. It does work. It's behind me. Windows is loaded. BioStar is not the best brand by any stretch of the imagination, but for a budget level, really, really impressed. Really impressed with the features that it had. So, you know, definitely good stuff there. So, we'll do a little bit of you guys can see how I edit. I mean, you guys see my videos. For quick stuff like this, I don't do a lot of editing. So, so let's see where I start here.
Meaning that you're not going to get the unbox. So I'm a little bit late.
Oh, wow.
So I'm a little bit late.
I'll start it doing that.
So I'm a little bit late.
Oh, well. Yep.
CPU and heatsink installed now. But come on, I think it's actually going to be pretty interesting.
There you go. I always have to pause before I actually stop the camera because I do it all myself.
So this is what the box for. So, you know, I'm going to look something up. I'm going to be back in 1 second, guys. I want to take a look at something.
There we go. There. Unfortunately, I hate when I talk and start hitting the camera. It's annoying.
So I want to show you guys.
That's where
it works. This could potentially be a really good buy.
I'm not a fan of that, but whatever. And then we'll close it out here. I have to adjust the camera. I wasn't happy with that.
So, we got. By the way, i3 versus Ryzen 3. That's going to be very soon. So stay tuned.
See right there. I'm starting to move early. Okay. Save the project before I forget. Well, thanks for. Well, yeah, an IT. I think like that was the only like ITX board at the time. Yeah, good thing it's an i3. No low wattage. Hopefully, should be good.
Oh, so I'm a little bit late.
Okay.
It's actually good.
I just always check the transition to make sure it's good.
So this one.
So that right there was not good.
CPU and heatsink installed now. But how on? I think it's actually going to be.
Nope.
So this one, the bottom.
Zoom in a little bit more. That should be good.
How on? I think it's actually going to be pretty interesting. I think it's actually going to be pretty interesting.
There we go. Should be good.
Pretty interesting.
There we go.
This is what the box
That's
looks
better.
like. I'm going to look something up. I'm going to be back in 1 second, guys. I want to take a look at something. So I want to show you guys it. Goodbye. So.
See if I end this on the right scale here.
Oh, by the way, i3 versus Ryzen 3. That's going to be very soon. So stay tuned.
I'm cool with that. All right, export time. This is why I have the computer I do, because of the exporting. W videos. So this is BioStar B360 GT5. There we go. So if you want to see what Adobe does to my computer, I shall show you. So obviously OBS is using a fair bit. Now it's actually not using as much memory. Before I was using about 13 gigs exporting. So now this room is probably about 22 degrees C right now. But my system doesn't really get that hot. Usually like mid 60s. So, you know, 60 there, 60 here. The graphics card's not doing a lot. It's hitting around 3940. Nothing super crazy, but so and then what I'm gonna do is oh, I have 630 subs. Nice. I'm getting there. I'm trying to upload as quickly as I can, guys, to try to oh yeah, the Ryzen 3 had bent pins. I almost sent it back to the guy, but I said, you know what? I paid $65. I said I already fixed it and didn't tell him. I said, hey, look, I'm gonna try to fix it. Don't worry about it. You're good. If I botch it, so be it. It's not your problem. Thank you very much. So I did fix it. I had to get another tool, but I was able to do it. I almost broke it. I bent it the other way, and then I slowly got it back up. And once I got it in the socket, I took it out to make sure that nothing else got bent, put it back in, booted it up, and it's not coming out of that board now. I'm keeping it there. Because as it stands right now, it's fine. But if you remove it and put it back in, remove it, put it back in, you definitely risk doing some damage. Oh, this is what I want. Yeah, there we go. So this is going to be the Cooler Master HP 600L review. Spicy. Let's go tomorrow. Yeah, that's fine. Let's do Thursday. I always do 9 p.m. is always my upload time. I'll fill this out in a little bit. Boy, do I love the fact I have a faster upload speed. I still want to know how your BioStar blew up. I don't know if I showed you guys this or not. Let me show you guys some of the Excel sheets I've worked on recently. Oh, I have to do this one. So this one's interesting. So this is an RX 470. It's slightly slower, but double the VRAM versus an RX 580. I did both 1080p and 1440p. 4K just seemed ridiculous, so it didn't really matter. And yeah, extra 4 gig of RAM did nothing. The 45 megahertz increased clock speed was the deciding factor. except GTA 5 somehow it scored a little bit better, but it pretty much didn't do much. So what's interesting is that I was going to do RX 480 8 gig at the same speed, but I actually didn't like that idea. And the reason why I didn't like it was they're the same exact card, so you get the same results. So then you have the question: do you get the same? Do you get a slightly faster clock card, or do you get one with more VRAM? You know, yeah, you can push it if you want and overclock it, but your mileage may vary. Let's compare the what's actually real. So that's a video I need to work on. See, that's the problem. See, there's a lot of things I don't have filmed that I realize I still have to work on. Okay, that one's done. This one's not done. When did I do this? Oh no, this was last year. Yeah, that had to have been last year. Yeah, okay, so a lot of these are... So this is another one I want to do as well. So this one's comparing the Athlon 200 GE versus the Phenom 4 965. What GPU did I test this with? Oh, I can't remember. I think it was the RX 480. And the problem is I have an RX 5 or 470. I have a 570 now, which is essentially going to give me the same results. I'll put a disclaimer in there, though, about it. What I might do... Oh, wait. Okay. What I might do is also put the 1300X in here as well. The problem is that I used I still hit a GPU bottleneck, believe it or not, because when you look at it, the Cinebench scores, there's a big difference here. But everything else, there's really not much of a difference. CPU score combined, but the GPU score is the same. These were GPU tests were identical, CPU was different. No, almost no difference there, almost no difference there, almost no difference there. So the problem is I don't have this anymore. So I'm going to publish these results, but these results still hold some weight. So the reason behind these results is an RX 470 class card is something you just might have with an 965 Black Edition. And the question is that say your CPU dies and you have to, you know, get the cheapest AM4 board, CPU, and 8 gigs of DDR4 RAM. So that's essentially 60 and 60. So $200 to replace the platform. You know, can you get something as good, if not better? And the answer is, I guess, yes. So yeah, I'm not 100% sold on that. Oh. This should be... Okay, that's done. Let me get this uploaded as well. Add more videos. We're going to do this for schedule. We'll do this the 8th. Also do this at 9. Schedule. Okay. So, that one's going to be tough because I don't know if I'll get a better performance. I can try. I mean, having a card, so some of the things that I can do, a really good example, is average the FPS difference between these two cards and subtract, because it should give me a better yield. So here's actually a good one. Equals this. Minus this divided by I want to say that, yeah. So in percentage, it's 2%. So what we can do is equal average this minus, well, here, we'll do that. Oh, nope. And then we can, again, do the same thing here. this minus this, divide by that. So now I'll continue to, so this. Wait, these were CPU scores, I think. Oh wait, no, they weren't. Actually, no, that won't work. What we would have to do is, I'll show you guys here in a second. This divide by there we go. I'll make these percentages. So 2% is essentially what this comes out to. So I could easily mark down the performance results by 2%. Would be a way that I could do it. Yeah, true. Very true. So that would be a realistic way of adding to the other results. So this wouldn't be hard. I mean, it's 1, 2, 3. Skydiver 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tests. It'd probably take a half hour. So I might add to it. That might make sense. But I'm gonna hang it up for the day. It is 11:30. I do have to work tomorrow. And all that fun stuff. I really appreciate you guys checking in. I definitely had a good time. You know, stay tuned. I'm gonna try to get some of this stuff compressed and uploaded and show you guys some of the results. And I don't know what's coming up down the pipeline. I mean, I have these two, the two I just uploaded. I have tests to do. I may do an additional video about how much I hate the MasterBox 600L. I might take that fan out and I don't know, I might play with it if I have time. I have a busy weekend coming up, but I'll try. So anyway, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Steve from PC Budget Solutions. Thank you for tuning in. Liked it if you liked it. Or hit the dislike if you didn't like it. I don't know. Buy everything I have here. Give me $1 million. I don't know. But as always, thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you later on down the road. Stop streaming.